Hello, welcome to Wingin It, and welcome back to another Wingspan tournament gameplay video here. We've got something rather exciting. This is a tournament final. So it's the final of the Forest Foodie Feud. It's one of the 1v1 tournaments we've had going on for the past couple of months with all expansions included. So did feature a few games from this tournament earlier on in the rounds, but yeah, played a lot of games since then and got through here into this final. So very exciting for me personally, of course. My first 1v1 tournament final in over a year, so it's been a while since I've got to this stage of a tournament. So yeah, very exciting to be able to take part in such a big match and hopefully bring home a tournament win at the end of it. It's a best of 3 format, so whoever comes out on top over those 3 games will be the champion. And I'm going to be post-commentating over these games. So, yeah, we're going to begin here, jumping into game number 1. We're going first. Let's see what we've got in the starting hand. Is it anything good? Unfortunately, not really. So, yeah, not the kind of starting hand I'd really look for in a final. I mean, yeah, nothing really remotely useful to be keeping. A few brown powers, but yeah, none of them particularly good. So do at least have the Dipper in the tray and do at least have Omnivore as the bonus card, as you might have seen there. So yeah, we'll be keeping that, but I don't think I'm going to be keeping any of these birds. I'm thinking, yeah, being able to go first here, being able to pick up that Dipper and just do a bit of digging is probably how I'm going to play this, because I don't really like any of those birds that we've got. As I say, 4 brown powers, but they're all pretty weak ones. And yeah, the bearded reading, not really going to work here either, given that I do want to play the Dipper. So yeah, not often I go with 5 food in a game of Wingspan, and definitely not the kind of thing I'd like to be doing in this situation. But I'd say at least with that Dipper in the tray, I know I can grab that going first and hopefully do some digging and get something to actually help me out in this game. And all right, here we go. Coming through to our first turn, my opponent, you see, only keeping 1 bird over there. So yeah, maybe neither player getting the amazing starting hand at the start of this final. So yeah, could be an interesting battle with maybe not such good birds. But having said that, red-winged blackbird going down, so definitely a nice one to be getting in first in that wetlands. And yeah, now we're both going to be digging because I've got my Dipper in, so I'm obviously going to be seeing more cards. However, my opponent is going to be getting the points. It's going to be getting the eggs in the wetlands, which, as I know from all of my experience playing Oceania games, is so important. So already spending food to reset the tray. I may well be doing the same, but some interesting options coming up here. I think certainly the Asian Emerald Dove could be a really powerful one early on to get a bunch of eggs. Equally, the Black Red Start can be very nice longer term with that teal power. So I'd probably expect my opponent to pick up both of those really. One to keep, one to deny. But if either of them are getting left there, I think I'll be picking those up. And yeah, obviously the Dipper power that we've got here can already be resetting the tray for me. So we do get left the Emerald Dove, which, yeah, I say I'm quite surprised by that. So I'm going to grab that. And the Shrike Thrush, I think, is a pretty nice opening forest bird. So we'll go with that. And all right, that is what I'm talking about. Instantly saved on the tray reset with the Dipper. White Wagtail coming up. So does cover the cost because there's Violet Green Swallow, which I'm sure my opponent's going to want in the wetlands alongside the Blackbird. But yeah, how a game of Wingspan can turn on its head in a matter of turns. We go from 5 food at the start with nothing really good in the hand, and suddenly we've just got amazing options here. And yeah, bird like the Wagtail, just to build a game around, build an engine around, and hopefully, yeah, use these other birds to really support it. As I say, the Emerald Dove is going to be a great play at some point, but I think that Shrike Thrush as well, just in the forest, getting, you know, the extra food just by pushing out into that second column, but also that brown power where I could be potentially getting some extra rats. Yeah, I think that is certainly going to be one to target. So would be expecting my opponent to grab the Swallow. But I mean, Blue Jays come up, which again, you know, not a bad forest brown power, I think, and especially with Omnivore, just being able to get a couple of extra points there. Never a bad thing. So yeah, may well look at drawing cards again here, just giving myself yeah, that extra nice bird to get down in the forest. And if we are going to have extra cards, I think just building out that forest, giving the option to discard cards, get a bit more food. You always need food in wagtail games. It's always key to get as much food as you can from the bird feeder through those brown powers. Help yourself play those big point birds. So indeed, yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab some cards. I'm probably going to go off the deck for the second one. Don't really think these other birds are going to be good, but Blue-winged Warbler's pretty nice. Do you know what else is nice? Is Benelli's Eagle. So very, very kind draws these first couple of turns drawing. So yeah, as I say, really, really kind of crazy how quickly this game turned. With so many good options for me here. Kind of don't want to be discarding any of these birds or tucking any of these birds under Benelli. So that's going to maybe be, yeah, a decision for later in the game. But got to say, my opponent is also in a good position. So, you know, we've got to watch out a little bit there. And obviously we've got good stuff, but yeah, I know a really good wetlands engine could be brewing on the other side. But yeah, 4 turns left in this round, so pretty straightforward plan is going to be to play a forest bird, take some food, play the wagtail, lay some eggs. Really, it was just a question here of which forest bird to play. I think in a vacuum, Blue Jay is the better power, more reliable, more controllable. But here with this end of round goal, food and personal supply, it's kind of worth taking a bit of a gamble on the Shrike Thrush, where it's a cheaper bird to play, and if we get a nice re-roll with that brown power, we get a bunch of rats, could actually win the end of round goal. So that's something I'm going to think about. But if I can't hit it, it's not the end of the world. At the very least, then I'm going to qualify. And maybe there's, you know, some kind of tempo loss for my opponent if I force them into taking food, where maybe they'd rather be setting up the engine. So some little things to think about there. But yeah, I think regardless, the plan is hopefully going to be straightforward here. And it's not quite so straightforward for my opponent. So Valerie Swallow does go down, but in the forest, which definitely caught me off guard. I was 100% expecting that to go down in the wetlands, and yeah, just keep on doing that digging down there. So yeah, I had to kind of rethink a little bit in terms of, yeah, maybe this end of round goal there's not going to be any option if my opponent is just going to take food a couple of times, and obviously with the Shrike Thrush missing there anyway. But I don't think really it's going to change the plan too much. I think it's still going to be obviously getting this wagtail in, and then probably use the wagtail to play the Blue Jay, because again, just getting that forest going, getting that food access going. You know, we've got some very nice birds to play, the Emerald Dove, the Warbler. They're going to cost a lot of food, so I want to be making sure I can get as much of that as possible with the limited turns that I'll be taking food, because obviously when you've got a bird like the White Wagtail with that teal power where you've got to take all the actions, you can't just take food forever. You've got to make sure that you're playing birds, laying eggs, drawing cards, and really that's going to limit the number of turns to go and take food. So always something worth thinking about there. But again, that's where something like Benelli's Eagle is also going to come in, because maybe some extra cards is going to save us a bit of food cost there. But maybe explains the forest pivot there with red jungle fowl going in. So yeah, very quickly setting up a nice forest engine there, getting the eggs, getting the card cycle as well. So it's looking quite nice for my opponent. But yeah, I'm happy with my setup. I'm happy with the start here. Again, just from the 5 food situation, had a bit in your hand off for an end of round 1 with a board looking like mine. So yeah, pretty much a dream situation going from 0 to 100. But yeah, still long way to go in this game. And I say with a nice forest start here, with the swallow, with the jungle fowl, it's looking good for my opponent as well. So looks like indeed they are taking food, going to win this end of round goal. So not really a big surprise there, but yeah, just picking up a few more points at our expense. And all right, here we go on to our end of round powers here with the wagtail. And yeah, no surprise, it is going to be the Blue Jay going in. So yeah, just getting this forest built out a little bit more. So into round number 2, and we've got some big point birds in the tray with the goose, with the sea eagle. So I would like those. We'll see if my opponent's going to pick those up. I think sea eagle would be an excellent play in the forest for either player here, really. Just that big point, nice brown power bird is exactly what you want. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that go. But Greylo Goose could be a sneaky one here, and we are going to get left that. It does actually hit 2 of these end of round goals. So even just on top of the 7 points, yeah, I'm just checking end of round goals. You know, maybe rounds 3 and 4 could come in clutch for getting some extra points. So I'm going to pick it up We're also going to get Magpie Luck, which is a nice option. And we're also going to get White-Headed Duck for some bonus cards, which, yeah, this is exactly what you're looking for. Going with a bird like the Wagtail, playing more birds, you want more bonus cards. So, and even more options coming up Planeswalker. So, you know, we're just getting so spoiled for choices. So many good birds coming up. It's almost overwhelming. So definitely, yeah, got some thinking to do. And likewise, my opponent, indeed, picking up those big point birds. So, yeah, would have liked either the Planeswanderer or the Flycatcher not to be here. But yeah, maybe we'll just go and draw cards again. I mean, something like that small Minivet ain't a bad option. Nice, cheap, get the forest built out a little bit more. And yeah, could be a good double play with our Blue-Winged Warbler at some point in the game. So I'm just kind of thinking here, you know, it's always key with Wagtail, even at this stage of the round so early, just to be aware of how many turns you've got. Be aware of what you need to do. You know, I've only got one egg, so I know I'm going to need to lay eggs once, maybe even twice, depending on how many birds I'm going to be playing this round. I've got to be taking food. You know, I've definitely got to be playing birds, so making sure that I don't spend too many turns drawing cards here and cost myself later is key. So I did a little bit of thinking, a little bit of planning. Obviously that barn swallow there as well is maybe one that I do want to be blocking. Probably not going to use it myself, but it would be excellent to go into my opponent's wetland. So there's a little factor there of the denial of the defensive play. But yeah, really just got to think carefully and just think to myself again, like, how many birds am I going to play with this end of round goal as well? Maybe I want to play an extra grassland bird in there. But we do go ahead and yeah, draw cards in. Again, more good birds. I mean, Rybill, that's potentially a great one here. If we're going to play some more bonus card birds, especially something like the White-Headed Duck, you know, you're drawing 3 and discarding 2. So that's just going to give you more options for Rybill later on. And it's really going to test me to try and remember which bonus cards I've already seen in this game. But yeah, lots and lots of good options. So from here, it's just about getting everything down in the right order, really, in the right sequence. Making sure to maximize off these brown powers. Making sure to see the bonus cards at the right time, because I think that's always an interesting decision in these kind of games. You know, it's beneficial to see bonus cards as early as you can, giving you a target to work towards, making those more effective decisions on which birds to play based on your bonus cards. But at the same time, if you've got brown powers, you want to prioritize those. And a bonus card play late on, especially with Wagtail, I think is always quite straightforward. And you're pretty likely to find at least one bonus card there that you're going to be able to score big points from. So yeah, we're going to have, say, maybe some thinking to do there, but in the short term, it's just going to be about going into that forest, hopefully getting as much nectar as we can, seeing what the Strike Thrush can do. Now, obviously, not really got too much use for the rats as it stands. I mean, you know, Benelli's Eagle obviously does eat rats. I think in an ideal world, I'm going to be feeding cards to that. But other than that, yeah, not really too many rat-eating birds. So I would maybe like a bit more synergy with the cards that I'm drawing for that. But worst case scenario, you know, I'm going to get some extra food. I can throw that for eggs, or I can keep it as a cash with that brown power. And all right, on to our next turn here. And yeah, as I say, time to go, I think, and take some food. And the tough thing here is that I'd normally want to be going and discarding cards. I've not really got too many spares to be doing that. So I think probably the Swallow will go. Just give me that extra food. Would have liked more nectar here. And yeah, maybe with the seed that I've got to take from the Blue Jay. Again, I'd have to be taking fish or rats, which I don't really need. So I am actually going to save the card here. And maybe we'll go again and take food a second time, especially with some nectar coming up like that. So yeah, I think a second turn taking food is going to be needed here if we're going to play not just one bird here in the round, but again, with the Wagtail at the round end phase, we're going to need some food for that power. And yeah, nectar is still there in the feeder forest, but there goes the Sea Eagle. So my opponent's forest is starting to come together. Definitely looking strong there. But yeah, now's the time that I can take food through the Swallow, get this extra food that I need. Lots of seeds, potentially lots of worms, I think, for these birds that I'm going to be playing. And that's where Blue Jay is going to come through. And this time the Strike Thrush does get a hit. So yeah, I think I will be keeping that, as I say, for now. Just give myself options. You never know if I'm going to pick up a nice big point bird later on, like a Golden Eagle or something that's going to need those rats. So definitely be keeping them for now. And then we can always reassess, you know, as it gets into the late game. Maybe I've got lots of food. Maybe I can start caching if need be. But definitely for now, yeah, the extra food is what I want. So, yeah, 3 turns left. So I know I've got to lay eggs. I know I've got to play a bird. Maybe I play another bird. This is where I've just really got to calculate. I've got to think about this end of round goal. You know, probably I think it's worth planning here to try and play 3 birds in the grasslands. So that's what I'm going to do by, yeah, playing this white-headed duck. First of all, and this is to set up playing the Asian emerald dove. Just make sure that I've got that bird in the wetlands so I can lay eggs on that. And those eggs are going to be so useful, but just take a step back, just think of things through, because the other option here is to maybe play the magpie luck first before laying eggs and get myself the extra egg. But that's just going to delay, I think, the emerald dove a little bit too much, and I really need that down now. Not just for the points, but for the eggs that it's going to get me, because that's really going to help me play more birds in round 3, because I don't really have great egg access. I've got no birds that are gaining eggs, no nice brown powers there. Just this rather weak grassland. So yeah, we are going to play the duck. We're going to get a look at some bonus cards, and yeah, Wildlife Gardener looking pretty good here. Already got, yeah, 3 birds in hand to go with the 3 on the board that I'd be looking to play. So should in theory be a pretty easy and maxed out bonus card there. So definitely a nice pickup. And yeah, obviously Omnivore already looking good. 2 birds down for that, 4 points. Really like to see that, and hopefully get more as the game plays out. So Scissortail Flycatcher going in. Don't expect to see that used. That's probably just a big point play for this end of round goal, but I'll take some free food always with Wagtail. And again, I've got all these birds that need worms, so that would be yeah, much appreciated. I would not be saying no to a free worm here, but yeah, looking good here. So get our eggs in, which we need to do, not just for the Wagtail, but to actually be able to play a bird on our next turn, and we're going to be, yeah, ready, I think, to do this Asian emerald dove. So such a big point play. So glad I was left that in the tray. I feel like that's going to be an absolute lifesaver here. Yeah, lots and lots of points, and those eggs coming through are going to be really, really valuable. But yeah, it's looking good. My opponent's board as well, building out in that forest. So with the card cycle up there, you know, maybe finding some good stuff from the deck that we do have to watch out for. But definitely I'm feeling good here with what I've gotten. Yeah, it's time to get some birds in. So emerald dove, as I say, spend this nectar and get a bunch of eggs. So 4 of them coming through. That's going to be so valuable. It's going to let me play a bunch more birds. Not just in the next round, but now. And it is going to be, I think, this magpie luck. So obviously we're winning this end of round goal anyway, but I don't think this is a bad one to get in here. Just push this grasslands out. And it's a pretty nice one to have with the Wagtail, just as a cheap play now, but also when I've got Benelli in hand, that can potentially be a really nice play late on. I don't need to keep food for that, just need to make sure I've got some extra cards. Get that extra play at the end of the game in the grasslands. And we're going to be looking pretty good. So coming into round 3, we're going first in this round. I was hoping for a better trade than that. Not really the kind of birds that I want here, really, but yeah, this is where actually having good cards in our hand already is going to help out, because not so reliant on a good draw, although we do get a nice draw. Spotted Owl coming through, so yeah, more bonus cards. Again, I'm not going to say no to that whatsoever. So that could definitely be a handy one for us. So going to spend some eggs, I think, always worth here. Seeing more cards, I can always throw those for food, throw those for eggs in the grasslands. Kind of looking at this pigeon here, maybe getting a bit greedy, thinking that I'm going to have that much extra food. I don't think I will, but what I will have is an extra bonus card. Courtesy of Cassin's Finch. And maybe this King Rail, but White Stork's there as well. So 2 good birds here with the Omnivore bonus card being hit. And a tricky decision because, you know, I think whichever of these I leave, my opponent's going to get. And I'd like both. You know, White Stork, big point bird. Putting that down in the grasslands, getting me some extra cards as I'm laying eggs. I will not say no to that. But again, the King Rail as well with the bonus card. You know, maybe he could be getting a really good pull there. But it's 4 points weaker, so yeah, difficult decision here. Do I take the gamble maybe on that bonus card? Do I take the safe points? That's also going to get me some extra card access. Bearing in mind I've got Benelli, going to need some cards there. Bearing in mind I'm going to need some extra food. And I'm going to need some cards there. So do go with the White Stork. And yeah, I think that could be a pretty easy play. Even just now, with the food I've got, I've already got the food to just get it down in this grasslands. That could be really, really nice here. And yeah, just go and lay some eggs. But at the same time, when I see 3 nectars in the bird feeder, very, very hard to say no to that. So yeah, I'm going to be going and grabbing that. And gotta be honest, kind of looking at this noisy miner, kind of wondering, you know, is this going to be a good play? Maybe with some of this nectar. Am I going to take enough food there? So I'm kind of thinking of keeping it. Got to be honest, in hindsight, I think I should be discarding that here. Doesn't really feel like a noisy miner game, and you know, especially when I've already got, you know, Cassin's Finch. I want to play that in the forest. Spotted Owl, I want to play that in the forest, and probably this blue-winged warbler as well. I should really be playing that in the forest, and just getting as many of those big point birds out as possible. Maybe even this Minivet, I can't play that if I've run out of space. So yeah, I think probably, as I say, it should really be the miner. I'm going in here, but I'm thinking long and hard. And again, this is just planning out and thinking about what my plan is, not just for this round, but that final round as well. You know, what those plays are going to be. But yeah, Warbler goes. I think that was a mistake looking back. Definitely be a one I'd want to be keeping here. Yeah, something like Noisy Miner, I'm just not going to use it enough. But do get a nice reroll with the food. We get not just a Blue Jay food, but Shrike Thrush as well. And yeah, we found the bird we need with those rats. Spotted Owl, so that's going to be nice. And that, yeah, extra couple of food is just going to help us out a little bit more. But I think White Stork will go in here. Just push that Grasses out another slot. Get me an extra egg, but also the card as well. So yeah, if it's a good card, obviously I can look at playing it. But if it's not a good card, well, it's just going to get discarded or tucked under Benelli. So definitely doesn't hurt there. But yeah, got a few options to consider. I say in terms of the forest plays as well. I mean, I think I would look at going for the bonus card gambles here. As I said earlier, the more birds you play, the more likely you are to get good bonus cards. And I've got plenty of more birds to play. And yeah, being able to get those good bonus cards, especially with the Rybill still in hand, you know, maybe I draw 2 good bonus cards and I've got to discard 1. I can always go and pick it up later. So yeah, a few options to consider here. Only limited turns in this round though. So no, I've got to play a bird, I've got to lay eggs. But I just think thanks to the eggs that we got from the dove in that last round, that's just going to help, you know, allow extra plays. And playing birds is my strongest turn here. You know, I've not got a great engine, not scoring lots of points in any of my habitats, really. It's just going to be through playing birds. And yeah, in particular, these bonus card birds are really going to be the key. So I'm just thinking here, you know, do I use the Minivet for the double play now? Make sure I'm safe on the Cup Nest bonus card. Do I just play the White Stork? Do I just play one of the bonus card birds now in the Cassin's Finch? See what that bonus is, and then maybe that's going to sway my decision in terms of, yeah, which other birds go down. Maybe give me that little bit more information on, yeah, what the best decision is going to be. But for now, keep it simple. And yeah, White Stork looks to be the one that is going to go in here. So seems like I'm trying to keep as much nectar as I can. I think that makes sense here. You know, maybe White Stork's going to throw up a good bird, and I'm going to need specific food for that. And obviously coming through to the Wagtail play, I mean, whenever you've got a bird to play there, you can always use nectar. So that definitely doesn't hurt at all. So yeah, White Stork going in. So nice, as I say, big point bird, even bigger points with Omnivore bonus cards. So looking pretty good. And yeah, my opponent is also go for the bonus card bird. So Cerulean Warbler's gone down in the forest. Just, yeah, pushing that out a little bit more and getting more food. So plenty coming through. And yeah, with those nice brown powers, getting the points as well. So definitely got to watch out there. But I'm feeling good about my setup. I'm feeling good about what is going on here. So I say so many good birds in hand to play. But plenty of turns still left to go in this game to maybe find something else as well that's going to excite me. But yeah, in terms of this end of round goal, still going to keep, you know, maybe playing that Grey Goose as an option. We'll see if need be. But yeah, Miner goes now. I think by this point I realised, yeah, there's no way that's going to get played. Not going to be needed. So we'll throw it for the extra egg. Also use the White Stork, get Pukeko, which That came up a little bit earlier. I wouldn't say no. Again, nice brown power. Again, hits omnivore. At this stage of the game, though, probably unlikely that I'm going to draw cards enough. I mean, I probably only draw cards once more in this game, I think, in the last round when needed for the wagtail play. So, yeah, not really going to get enough usage off a brown power like that in these remaining turns. But, yeah, beyond that, done all the stuff we need for the wagtail. So, in theory, could just play birds. Could maybe just play 2 birds here, depending on food, depending on which birds I want to play. Maybe, as I say, with that double play as well, and the Minivet could, open up some options. But really at this stage, with wagtail, it is just about getting as many birds in the game as you can. Spending food as efficiently as possible. And, you know, even now I'm thinking ahead to that last round. I'm thinking, right, okay, how many times am I going to have to take food? Is it going to change depending on if I have 3 birds in the forest, 4 birds, maybe even 5 before I take food? You know, at what point do I commit to these birds? Do I have to go digging a little bit more? I think that's always useful questions to be having in mind. But for now, Cass's Finch, no-brainer, goes in. We do get some interesting choices here on the bonus card. Forest Ranger, a bonus card I normally hate, is looking really, really good here. We have lucked into that one with the consecutive scores. Already going 2, 3, and 4. And we've got a 5-point bird in our hand. Courtesy of the Spotted Owl. And potentially, I mean, Benelli could go up there as well to cap off the forest. But this is where I'm really wishing I had that Blue-winged Warbler back, because that would have been a truly excellent play up there. But I'll still take this bonus card. I know that we're going to get minimum 5 points off that. But yeah, potentially being able to max that out, which is not something I often do. Even if I'm trying, even if I start with that bonus card, it's so hard to intentionally score points off it. So feel very fortunate to have drawn it in this situation where it's going to work out very, very nicely. But you'll see my opponent had played King Rail, which, kind of knew that was going to happen, having left it there in the tray. But we're both taking these bonus card gambles. So, you know, this is where the game can swing easily. If you miss a couple of bonus card draws and your opponent gets some good finds, you could, find yourself really losing momentum and falling behind. But we're getting these good bonus card draws. We're getting the big point birds out. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a very, very nice endgame for us. And all right, back onto our turn here. Last turn of the round. And it looks like we are going to go ahead and lay our eggs here. So, Minivet, I think now has got to go because it would ruin the potential of that forest bonus card. So, yeah, just going to go and lay eggs. And honestly, Black-Chinned Hummingbird, I've seen worse. I've seen worse. Hits Omnivore. Is potentially going to save us here on the Wildlife Gardener. You know, 1 cup nest short at the moment. So that could turn into a very, very big play for very, very little food at the end of the game. Do not mind that at all. So, yeah, not a bad option to have here. But as I say, coming into this Wagtail activation, we are going to have this flexibility of the Nectar. And I think ordinarily I would be wanting to play the Spotted Owl with that. I think given the fact that I've got 2 rats in supply and I know I could spend those on the Spotted Owl, I'm maybe going to be thinking about playing something different and, use my Nectar on food that I don't have and keep the food that I do have for this Spotted Owl. And I can always play that next round, just with those rats. So, as I say, got a little bit of thinking to do in terms of what goes down. But really, I think there's only one option, and it is going to be the Ryebill. Now, a little bit early for a bird like the Ryebill, especially with more bonus card birds in hand. I would so very much like to keep that for later. But it's got to be done. I think in this situation, it's, as I say, going to be spending the Nectar, keeping these rats for this Spotted Owl. You see, I'm kind of thinking maybe Spotted Owl now, but there's already 7 bonus cards that have been discarded, so I think that's already pretty good number of options to go from. I've seen some of them. We're going to see all of them now by playing it. A little bit disappointed because there's a lot of zeros there. So we do have Urologist, which could potentially be one, but I'm going to be honest, I don't plan to end the game with very many eggs here. I'm going to be playing as many birds as I can. So that may, be deceiving. Looking like 3 points now. could end up being 0 points at the end of the game. So just kind of checking the other bonus cards. You know, maybe I saw behaviorist in there. Is there something I can do to maybe get a column or two in there, pick up some extra points? Again, like wetland data analyst, I'm just checking my wingspans, large bird specialist. I'm going to play more of those. But really, that viticulturist, I think, is going to be the one. It's the only safe 3 points. It's the only one where I know I'm getting points. Guaranteed. That's not going to change come the end of the game. So yeah, it's really just, can I gamble? I'm really not going to see too many more points from that. So viticulture as it is, a little bit disappointing. I think you'd hope for more than 3 points off a rival bonus card, but could have been worse. Could definitely have been worse. So into the final round we come. And yeah, I think got a bit of a plan here. Got a bit of a plan. It's going to be Spotted Owl. Really got to just work out what the other play is going to be. You know, is the Grey Goose still going to go in? Maybe for this end of round goal. And yeah, get some extra points there. When's Benelli going to get played? Is that going to be the Magpie Lark play? Is that going to go in the forest and help the bonus card up there? And then maybe something like this Black-chinned Hummingbird can go in the grasslands for cheap. So yeah, lots of little questions. And some of it may just depend on how the bird feeder is going to behave. You know, if we're going to get a bunch of nectar, great. Maybe I need the blue jay to hit. Maybe I need the shrike thrush to hit as well. So lots of little things. And I think this is where just trying to keep things as flexible as possible is key. Try and just give yourself as many options as you can. Don't really shoehorn yourself too much. You know, go down an alleyway that is just going to restrict you in terms of decision making, because if things don't go your way, you are going to potentially get stuck. But yeah, just checking through the bonus cards, as I say, looking at this Black-chinned Hummingbird as potentially a very nice play. But I've got to say, also looking at that Great Blue Heron, I think that could be, you know, double play that into Grey Goose in the wetlands. That could be a very, very nice play. And we could be getting very, very close to filling the board here, which, yeah, from a 5 food start is almost unthinkable. So and now I've got to draw cards at some point. So I think really what better time than the present to go and do that, especially, yeah, with a nice bird like the heron there. So we are indeed going to go ahead and draw cards. And yeah, obviously see what else we get off the top. European Roller, not really what I'm looking for here. And yeah, this is the stage of the game where I've really got to be thinking about eggs as well. You know, if I'm going to play extra birds, maybe I can't be spending eggs on extra cards, so I'm not going to do that. We get the Dipper reset, we get a Bold Eagle, which, you know, speaks for itself. 9-point bird, lovely big points. And yeah, that again is just going to give another option. Maybe I need to play it for a little bit more food if the fish is going to come into it. Maybe I can't play it because I'm only getting seeds and, you know, the food from the bird feed is not going to help. I think just having a couple of different options for that wetlands is just going to help out. You know, maybe the Spotted Owl, if I play that and I get something like Rodentologist, you know, that's going to change my mind again. So yeah, just having another option for that double play, always good. So Baltimore Oral going in. I would not say no to a free berry right now. I'm feeling very pressured on the food situation. Feels unlikely. That's probably just a big point play here. But you never know. Maybe we do get some free food. So it looks like I'm taking food here. I should not be taking food. And I realised that luckily in the nick of time. I got to get Spotted Owl in here. Gets me the extra food. And seeing the bonus card as well, always nice. So we're going to play that. What's it going to be? Ecologist. Already 6 points and potentially even more. You know, it's going to be at least 8. We could be, as I say, filling the board here. And a 10-point ecologist is exactly what I'd be looking for. So yeah, looking good on these bonus cards. You know, say viticulturist aside, the ones that we've drawn from the deck are going to work out really well for us in this game. We're going to be scoring big points. And yeah, still, you know, more opportunities for points coming. Obviously, Benelli's going to go in at some point in the game. Is it going to be Wagtail? Is it going to be Magpie Lark? And then, yeah, some flavour of double play potentially in the wetlands. I was kind of on the fence about it before, but I think with Ecologist, if I know that that double play is going to get me 2 extra points, I'm going to do everything I can to try and make sure I can do that. So, may depend on the bird feeder a bit, but if it's going to be a bird feeder like that with nothing but fish and rats, that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, I definitely wouldn't say no. But yeah, can only gain, obviously, 4 food from the bird feeder. It's going to be Blue Jay and Shrike Thrush maybe are going to need to come in here to help me out, because 5 food for the double play, but then I'm going to need 1 with the hummingbird play as well. I'm pretty sure I've got to play that with all of these bonus cards on the line as well. So yeah, just got to think carefully here. I think with Nectar there, just got to go and grab it. Really, no hesitation. Could have played Benelli first, but I said let's just keep that flexibility of whether that's going to be the Magpie Lark play, whether it's going to be the Wagtail play. And I've got enough cards here, knowing that I'm going to get 1 back off the White Stork. So we get the Nectar we need. We get the Seed from the Blue Jay. Can we get the Rat off the Shrike Thrush? We so need this, and it comes through. So that is going to be an absolute lifesaver, and I am going to be keeping that. Not caching. So Shrike Thrush is going to end on no caches. It's going to look like it performed terribly, but it's just earned me a whole chunk of points at the end here, because now, I say, with the 6 food, I'm going to have enough to be able to double play. And I can double play in either way. You know, I've got that flexibility. Maybe I play into the Bold Eagle, but maybe I still want to do the double play into Grey-Lag Goose with this end of round goal in mind. Could potentially, yeah, pick up some extra points here. So Golden Pheasant play, which we did see in the tray earlier. I would have dearly liked that, but got to be honest, my opponent using it here is again a bit of a lifesaver, because we are very, very short on eggs. You know, with everything going on with this end of round goal, with needs to do these double plays, which we're going to get in now with the Magpie Lark as well. I need eggs for that, so I'm so weak for eggs here. But these 2 coming through are really, really helping me out here. So it's going to be double play time. It's going to be Great Blue Heron, and it is going to be Grey-Lag Goose. So yeah, not often you see a bird like that played in a game like this, but yeah, it's going to do everything I need. It's going to score big points. It's going to help being able to count double for this end of round goal, and I think we're either going to get a tie instead of losing, or we're going to win instead of tying. Either way, plus 3 points. And yeah, compare that to the Bold Eagle, which is only 2 points more. It's going to be a better play here. And yeah, we've still got that Rat, which, as I say, can very easily be played using the Hummingbirds. So that's going to be the plan. 1 turn left here. We're going to be laying eggs. Planeswanderer goes in for my opponent. Very nice. But too late for the end of round goal. So you'll see we're 1 behind here. But if I lay on the Goose, that's going to get an extra 1. I need to put 1 up in the forest. Thinking about the Magpie Lark. Make sure I've got 2 up there so I can actually use that power and not forget about it. White Stork doesn't matter. Again, some more bonus card birds. A little bit too late for them, but they'll be Benelli food. Right about now, because yeah, it's Wagtail time. And as I say, Benelli up in the forest here. Already a massive play. But when I've got Forest Data Analyst and I'm going to get some extra points, that is just going to make it even better. So in the Benelli's Eagle goes. Unfortunately, you do have to take 1 egg off a ground nest. So that 4th egg would have actually won us the end of round goal. So we end up tying instead, but that's where Grey-Lag Goose came in. And yeah, this is where Magpie Lark is going to come in, playing this Hummingbird. An unassuming play, but that is just huge points with all those bonus cards that we've already looked at. So into the Nectar scores. Honestly, didn't do too great. Didn't really get that much Nectar. Even filling the board, I only spent 1 Nectar in the forest. We did manage to spend the most in the wetlands though. Pick up a few points. And we'll see what that's going to do coming into these final scores. So yeah, we know we played a lot of birds. We know we played a lot of big point birds. So the score there should be huge. 70 points. Very nice. And lots of good bonus cards as well. But my opponent did too. 24 for them, but 36 for us. Is very nice. So we're building a lead here. It's looking good. Obviously, caches and tucks are looking good for my opponent though, so they will bring it back a little bit. Are we going to hold on with these Nectar scores? We are. And it's a big score. 137 in the end for us. Up against 125. So, yeah, very, very happy with that one. I say from the 5 food start to fill the board and score 137 points, I'll take that all day long. So, quick look at my opponent's bonus cards. There's Endangered Species. Did kind of expect that. Some pretty good ones otherwise. I mean, Pellet Dissector, when you got the Sea Eagle, a very, very nice find. But yeah, 10-point Ecologist, always going to take that. And yeah, that Forest Ranger doing such a good job as well. So really happy with this game. Really happy with this board. And yeah, getting the win in game 1 of this best of 3 final is oh so important. So getting that on the board, getting the win, and setting ourselves up very nicely going into game 2 here. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed watching this one back. I will be getting game 2 in a separate video, so if you want to see that, make sure you hit subscribe and make sure that you stay tuned and see how we get on in the rest of this tournament final. So I'll see you very soon for that one. Thank you for watching.